Meanwhile, we've made progress on one of our core commitments, our effort to end the war in Iraq. Nearly 100,000 American troops have now left Iraq under my presidency. Iraqis have taken full responsibility for their security. And we will continue to support Iraq as it forms an inclusive government. And we will bring all of our troops home. In the Middle East, we have faced false starts and setbacks, but we've been persistent in our pursuit of peace. Israelis and Palestinians restarted direct talks, but enormous obstacles remain. There should be no illusion that peace and security will come easy. But let there be no doubt, America will spare no effort in working for the outcome that is just. And that is in the interests of all the parties involved, two states. Israel and Palestine, living side by side in peace and security. That is our goal. The stakes are high in resolving all of these issues. For our world has grown smaller, and while those forces that connect us have unleashed opportunity and great wealth. They also empower those who seek to derail progress. One bomb in a marketplace can obliterate the bustle of daily commerce. One whispered rumor can obscure the truth and set off violence between communities that once lived together in peace. In an age of rapid change and colliding cultures, what we share as human beings can sometimes be lost. But I believe that the history of both America and Indonesia should give us hope. It is a story written into our national mottos. In the United States, our motto is E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Binaka Tungal ika unity in diversity. We are two nations, which have traveled different paths. Yet our nations show that hundreds of millions who hold. Different beliefs can be united in freedom under one flag. And we are now building on that shared humanity through young people who will study in each other's schools. Through the entrepreneurs forging ties that can lead to greater prosperity. And through our embrace of fundamental democratic values and human aspirations. Before I came here, I visited Istiklal Mosque, a place of worship that was still under construction when I lived in Jakarta. And I admired its soaring minaret and its imposing dome and welcoming space. But its name and history also speak to what makes Indonesia great. Istiklal means independence, and its construction was in part a testament to the nation's struggle for freedom. Moreover, this house of worship for many thousands of Muslims was designed by a Christian architect. Such is Indonesia's spirit. Such is the message of Indonesia's inclusive philosophy, Pancasila. Across an archipelago that contains some of God's most beautiful creations. Islands rising above an ocean named for peace, people choose to worship God as they please. Islam flourishes, but so do other faiths. Development is strengthened by an emerging democracy. Ancient traditions endure, even as a rising power is on the move. That is not to say that Indonesia is without imperfections. No country is. But here we can find the ability to bridge divides of race. And region and religion by the ability to see yourself in other people. As a child of a different race who came here from a distant country. I found this spirit in the greeting that I received upon moving here, Selamat Datang. As a Christian visiting a mosque on this visit, I found it in the words of a leader who was asked about my visit and said, Muslims are also allowed in churches. We are all God's followers. That spark of the divine lives within each of us. We cannot give in to doubt or cynicism or despair. The stories of Indonesia and America should make us optimistic. Because it tells us that history is on the side of human progress, that unity is more powerful than division. And that the people of this world can live together in peace. May our two nations, working together, with faith and determination, share these truths with all mankind. Sebagai penutup, saya mengucapkan kepada seluruh rakyat Indonesia, terima kasih atas. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum. In conclusion, I would like say thank you to all Indonesia. Thank you for your assistance. Thank you. Peace be upon you. Thank you. Barack Obama. Press conference on intelligence gathering reform. Delivered August 9, 2013. Good afternoon, everybody. Please have a seat. Over the past few weeks, I've been talking about what I believe should be our number one priority as a country. Building a better bargain for the middle class and for Americans who want to work their way into the middle class. At the same time, I'm focused on my number one responsibility as Commander-in-Chief. And that's keeping the American people safe. And in recent days, we've been reminded once again about the threats to our nation. As I said at the National Defense University back in May, in meeting those threats we have to strike. The right balance between protecting our security and preserving our freedoms. And as part of this rebalancing, I called for a review of our surveillance programs. Unfortunately, rather than an orderly and lawful process to debate these issues and come up with appropriate reforms, repeated leaks of classified information have initiated the debate in a very passionate, but not always fully informed way. Now, keep in mind that as a senator, I expressed a healthy skepticism about these programs. And as president, I've taken steps to make sure they have strong oversight by all three branches of government and clear safeguards to prevent abuse and protect the rights of the American people. But given the history of abuse by governments, it's right to ask questions about surveillance, particularly as technology is reshaping every aspect of our lives. I'm also mindful of how these issues are viewed overseas. Because American leadership around the world depends upon the example of American democracy and American openness. Because what makes us different from other countries is not simply our ability to secure our nation. It's the way we do it with open debate and democratic process. In other words, it's not enough for me, as president, to have confidence in these programs. The American people need to have confidence in them as well. And that's why, over the last few weeks, I've consulted members of Congress who come at this issue from many different perspectives. I've asked the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board to review where our counterterrorism efforts and our values come into tension. And I directed my national security team to be more transparent and to pursue reforms of our laws and practices. And so, today, I'd like to discuss 4 specific steps, not all inclusive. But some specific steps that we're going to be taking very shortly to move the debate forward. First, I will work with Congress to pursue appropriate reforms to Section 215 of the Patriot Act. The program that collects telephone records. As I've said, this program is an important tool in our effort to disrupt terrorist plots. And it does not allow the government to listen to any phone calls without a warrant. But given the scale of this program, I understand the concerns of those who would worry that it could be subject to abuse. So after having a dialogue with members of Congress and civil libertarians, I believe that there are steps we can take to give the American people additional confidence that there are additional safeguards against abuse. For instance, we can take steps to put in place greater oversight. greater transparency, and constraints on the use of this authority. So I look forward to working with Congress to meet those objectives. Second, I'll work with Congress to improve the public's confidence in the oversight. Conducted by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, known as the FISC. The FISC was created by Congress to provide judicial review of certain intelligence activities. So that a federal judge must find that our actions are consistent with the Constitution. However, to build greater confidence, I think we should consider some additional changes to the FISC. One of the concerns that people raise is that a judge reviewing a request from the government to conduct programmatic surveillance only hears one side of the story. May tilt it too far in favor of security, may not pay enough attention to liberty. And while I've got confidence in the court and I think they've done a fine job, I think we can provide greater assurances that the court is looking at these issues from both perspectives: security and privacy. So, specifically, we can take steps to make sure civil liberties concerns have an independent, voice in appropriate cases by ensuring that the government's position is challenged by an adversary. Number 3, we can, and must, be more transparent. So I've directed the intelligence community to make public as much information about these programs as possible. We've already declassified unprecedented information about the NSA, but we can go further. So at my direction, the Department of Justice will make public the legal rationale. for the government's collection activities under Section 215 of the Patriot Act. The NSA is taking steps to put in place a full-time civil liberties and privacy officer. And released information that details its mission, authorities, and oversight. And finally, the intelligence community is creating a website that will serve as a hub for further transparency. And this will give Americans and the world the ability to learn more about what our intelligence community does and what it doesn't do, how it carries out its mission, and why it does so.